Good evening. It is Tuesday, May 24th, and welcome to the Positional Sports Talk Show. Post live streaming on Facebook Live, Twitch, and our Positional Sports Talk Show YouTube channel. We are a sports talk show made for the fans, from the perspective of fans, presented by lifelong sports fans. We will provide our opinions, positions on the hottest topics in sports this evening. My name is Big Reg, and I'm joined with three of my partners in crime. The professor's in the building. What's going on, Professor?
What's going on, Big Reg? What's up, Sense? What's up, Big Ed back in the house?
What's up, Professor? Always good to see you, buddy.
Hey, I'm ready to talk sports. Praise the Lord. Let's go.
Let's go. Sense is in the building. What's going on, partner?
What's going on, Big Reg? What's going on, fellas? Good to see y'all. Good to be in the place. Let's talk some sports. Parlez-vous français, Ed? Come on, parlez-vous.
and our man is back in the building with a big smile, rested, excited. Brother Ed, welcome back, my friend. What's going on?
Thanks. Hey, man, I'm happy to be back. Excited to get on here and talk some sports. I miss you guys. I honestly missed you guys. Although I had a great time with my new bride in our wedding and our honeymoon. And thank you guys and thanks Jay Wills and J3 and your spouses. Thank you guys and you ladies for showing up for us. My wife and I, we really appreciate you. All of everything you guys have done.
My wife and I. You heard that, right?
Yeah, it sounds good. It
rolled off the tongue real good.
Yeah, so I'm ready. She was ready for me to get back in here.
So let's go ahead and get to it. So this evening, we're going to give you some quick hits, and then we're going to talk about some football news, a little college and pro mixed in together. And then, of course, we got to talk about these crazy NBA playoffs. Mm-hmm. Man, this Eastern Conference, man, I don't know what to make of that. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we're going to give you our final post of the evening. As always, we appreciate you tuning in, so please sit back, relax, enjoy Post on the Positional Sports Talk Show channel. Fellas, we had a little roll tide on Sunday, a little sneaky roll tide on Sunday.
Yeah.
For y'all that don't know, professional golfer Justin Thomas, Alabama alum, came back from he began Sunday 7 strokes off the lead. 5 people in front of him. Came back to win the PGA Championship to win another major.
Oh yeah, that's impressive. Very impressive.
That's crazy. And the bad part about it is the leader going into the round, Mito Pereira, he double bogeyed 18 to lose the.
Oh.
That might be one of those things you never recover from.
Yeah. But golf is funny like that. But a double bogey, that's a bit much. But I mean, literally all you got to do is, I mean, you could even not playing it safe and get a bogey. But he doubled that. So that was well, first of all, I can't lie and say I was sad to see it happen because I can't hide my I wanted Justin. I had no idea Justin Thomas would even be in contention Sunday morning. But he not only did he win in a playoff, a sudden death, but then he talked trash at the end to something we're going to talk about later on with Texas University that we'll get into. Loved every minute of it. But
win was impressive. His dab at the end, though, not so much.
Yeah. He need to lose the dab.
He need to lose the dab. Yeah.
But he good old Southern bro.
Yeah.
So he's doing the best he could do, trying to be cool.
Yeah. That ended with Cam, but yeah.
I have to admit though, I couldn't watch Sunday. Not that I physically couldn't watch, but after watching Tiger limp around the course for 3 days, I just couldn't watch it anymore.
I don't know why Tiger. Look, we talked about this prior to the Masters, and it was just an accomplishment for him to get on that Masters green and actually compete. He made the cut, as he did. He made the cut also in the PGA. But I just wish Tiger would just say, and we talked about this, do the Masters. Don't even worry about the rest of the majors. Get healthy. What are you chasing? You're not chasing money. You're not chasing greatness. You just basically out there doing something because you enjoy competing. You enjoyed, being around your comrades, so to speak. But I just wish Tiger would just chill out, get healthy, because obviously he's not healthy. It was probably physically impossible for him to be healthy so soon after that, the horrific accident he had. So I just wish he would just chill out for a little while, get healthy, then make a comeback.
A couple of things: his age and that horrific accident. And I'm not trying to be funny, so I want to preface this before I say it. He has to start being treated like a thoroughbred, where if there's not enough time in between races, then he needs to skip a race. Yes. So he needs to skip one of the events if he needs that in order to recover and be healthy enough in order to compete at the level that we're used to seeing him. And I think you're right, Ed. He just needs to really examine himself, because we saw how much he gave in the Masters, and then to turn around and try to compete in the PGA tournament, it was just too much too soon. And I just think that he needs to realize that at this point in his career. But Tiger is the draw, and when he's there, he box office. So just having him there raises the stakes and the revenue for everybody else. So I'm thinking that maybe that also played into it as well.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sid.
Nah, to both of y'all's point, it is just like really hard to, not see him as, vintage Tiger, and to see him limp around the way that he was during that competition. Part of me doesn't want to see. It's kind of like seeing someone just kind of past their prime and just saying, like when you saw Jordan with the Wizards, it was kind of like, all right, it might be time for you to hang it up. And it's kind of like that same feeling with Tiger. Like, I understand he's a big draw. He attracts revenue. He increases revenue. But, after a while, sometimes your body is telling you, like, that's the ultimate determinant that it's time to, go and hang it up.
Yeah. I truly think he came into the tournament thinking he was physically prepared. He even said he felt better coming in this tournament than he did the Masters. But once your body tells you you can't do it, he needs to stop. And I think he feels that pressure of being the draw once he shows up to a tournament. I got to stick it through. And he puts himself through so much pain. I mean, he started limping at like the 7th hole of the first round. He started limping.
Man.
Yeah.
He should have withdrawn from the tournament after the first round.
Well, he shot a 74 the first day, and then he came back and shot a 69 to make the cut. So I think that 69 maybe gave him a little. I don't think he needs confidence, but maybe so. But I just think it gave him maybe a little juice. And then when he got to Saturday, it was just like, he had a couple bad shots. The round started getting away from him, and he was just like, man, I don't need this. I got to shut this down.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so Tiger, Tiger going to do Tiger. But, yeah, I hope, like y'all said, he gets to the point. He needed to prove. I think he needed to prove to himself that he could get back. He did that to the Masters. Now he's done it again. Now he just needs to, if he plays one tournament a year or two, do that and just be an ambassador. And you can still hang around the guys and help them with their games and all that. We'll need to see out there suffering.
Yeah. Because you're doing a whole lot better than Phil Mickelson.
Oh, man.
Ain't that the truth?
Phil just played poker and lost his hands. That's what that was about.
Yeah. He was playing live. He was playing live poker, and they called his bluff.
A la casino.
And speaking of Phil, There's supposed to be a book that's supposed to be hitting next month. That's supposed to be a guy that went to prison for some insider trading stuff that he's going to reveal that some of that stuff was fulfilled. So, and that Phil has lost somewhere upwards of $60 million gambling.
What?
That's Jordan numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Phil got a lot of money, but Phil ain't got Jordan money, so it's crazy. So Phil got a lot of stuff coming. For you tennis fans, the French Open, Ed comes home, French Open starts. French Open started Sunday, and fellas, man, I know we ain't gonna talk a lot of tennis, but the women's draw is gone bananas in the first round.
Osaka.
Not only Osaka, defending champion, Barbora Krajicek, Naomi Osaka, Gabrielle Muguruza, Onis Jabeur, and Annette Kontaveit, all ranked top 16 players, all lost in the first round. So it's crazy over there.
It's anybody's match.
Yeah, on the women's side, that opens it up. And on the men's side, you got your boy Novak Djokovic trying to tie Rafa again, try to get his 22nd Grand Slam. But him and Rafa are in the same side of the draw. So if they both keep winning, they're eventually going to meet, unless the new sensation and possible new king of men's tennis, the young teenager Carlos Alcaraz, who's also in the inside of the draw, gets him first. So you got some good stuff happening over tennis. Right now, most of the matches are being played on the Tennis Channel, or you can do FrenchOpen.org. And eventually, once they go further to the match, you'll see some more on ESPN. Got to give you a little boxing. Probably the best 168-pound fighter in the world, David Benavidez, who doesn't have a title, but we even talked about that enough, had an easy third-round TKO last Saturday over David Lemieux. And what this sets up is he has a interim championship, which basically means he's the number one contender for the WBC. So Canelo's either going to have to fight him within the next 6 months to a year or give up one of those belts that he has. So it should be real interesting to see what Canelo does. Speaking of...
But don't he have other problems?
Yeah, he got other problems. And I think I think somebody got into his ear and had him reconsider, because he, right after the fight, after losing to Bivol, Canelo said he was going to, execute his rematch clause, and that was going to be his next fight. Yesterday, he announced, I think I'm going to go ahead and fight Triple G. Get that trilogy over.
See, that's what I mean. That's what boxing kills me.
Man.
So the trilogy is now set for September 17th. Because somebody told him, you better go get that money.
I was about to say, yeah.
Because if you fight Bivol and lose a second time,
you done.
That money that you was going to get on this Triple G, ain't nobody going to care no more.
No more bread.
No more bread, man. Someone offered them that bag.
But here's the problem with that Triple G fight. We've seen that twice already, and I don't mind having a trilogy. I love a good trilogy. Fury and Wilder. I love a good trilogy, but let's not wait 3 years or 2.5 years before you fight the third fight. Who sitting here amongst us, or who in the boxing community or of fans believes Triple G is going to beat Canelo? And who wants to see that fight? Big Reg, Professor Sense, do y'all really want to see that fight? Literally. What about the Charlo brother?
Let's just say I already had to be free.
Yeah.
Let's see you fight somebody, the Benavidez, whatever his name. Fight somebody who we think will really challenge you. Triple G at this point, I don't know. I don't really think he can beat Canelo right now. I mean, I just don't see it.
Yeah, in the words of Kendrick Perkins, it's dead bird, tall grass. Like to your point, it's me. Triple G is past his prime. Nobody really trying to see that fight. I guess someone was trying to see that fight, which is why they offered Canelo the bag that they did for him to take that trilogy. But I'm good.
But see, boxing is unlike UFC. It's all about like the show, and people don't really. That's what's McGregor. It's like you don't. They're not fighting because really they're really truly competing. It's like a show. It's like entertainment. But yeah, it's entertainment. But let's not forget it's sport too. So if we don't see the competition and we just simply see entertainment, it loses something along the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, once Canelo went into the promoter realm and all that, besides just being a boxer, he went into the entertainment realm.
See,
and all of that was working until he was trying to be Mayweather, but unfortunately, he bit a little much than he could chew and took that bad L, and looked bad. So I'm actually happy for him that he actually listened to his advisors, because if he'd have fought Bivol right away again, that was going to be an ugly rematch. I think he might have knocked him out.
Yeah,
so
I guess this would be a good tune-up fight for him. Maybe.
We'll see. We will see. All right, give you just a real quick, brief puck. Yo, them Lightning look like they get ready 3P, fellas.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They just took the President Trophy winning Florida Panthers and put the broom on them boys. 4 games, only allowed them to score 3 goals in 4 games.
And this is a team that led the NHL in scoring.
Yeah. The same team the Cap should have beaten and been in this series right now. I'm not saying able to beat Tampa Bay, but the fact is that we saw their Achilles heel when the Cap stopped putting some better defense on them and stopping them boys from scoring as many goals as they normally do. But they got the Caps in that one game where they came back from 3 down, scored 5 unanswered. I think that's what did the Caps in. But they shouldn't even have been there.
That's true.
So Tampa looks good. Carolina Hurricanes are leading the Rangers 2-1. They're actually playing right now 0-0. Colorado Avalanche looking good, beating the St. Louis Blues. The Blues won the cup just a couple of years ago. They up 3-1 on the Blues. Their next game is Wednesday, and then the Battle of Canada that's left. The Edmonton Oilers lead the Calgary Flames 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going for the Avalanche because I saw a story over the weekend.
They're racist.
They have a Muslim player that plays on the Avalanche,
Yeah.
and he inadvertently got knocked into the goalie, and he started getting death threats and all types of stuff. Man, we gotta stop this stuff. But yeah, I'm rooting for them in that series.
Yeah, it's a shame. Speaking of people making racist remarks, the New York Yankees' Josh Donaldson got a 1-game suspension, and he doesn't understand how mockingly calling somebody Jackie, much less a black African-American baseball player in the major leagues, which are very few and far between, was a problem.
Now, here's my issue with this whole thing, and context is always key for me. It always has, always will. Now, there was an article that was done a few years ago with Tim, and he is the one that brought up the fact that he was basking in Robinson's legacy. He's the next Jackie Robinson, whatever the phrase that he used inside of the article. So that kind of brought that to the forefront. These two dudes didn't have the animosity before that they have today, and they would jokingly say that, or Donaldson would say that to him in passing just to rib him. I think what happened the other day was he did it not as a racist remark, but as a jab at him saying, look, yeah, you ain't no Jackie Robinson. That's the way that I look at it. So people automatically calling this dude a racist, I think, is a bit too far. I also don't agree with the man being suspended for what he did. I think the reaction of La Russa calling it racist, when even Tim himself said that it was disrespectful. Now, if he felt that it was racist, then he himself would have said that. Now, there's a difference. They can go together at times, but there's a difference to me in this context between being disrespectful and being racist. I just don't think the man should be labeled a racist because of something that they joked about in the past. There was no animosity to the point of people fighting with it before. And I think because it got used in this situation, now everybody want to be up in arms. I just see it differently because of that SI article where he referred to himself in that context.
I agree. I think because of the backstory, and I read a little bit about it myself, that, you know, I think we're in a day and age where it's now guilty until proven innocent. And where there's smoke, there's fire, unfortunately. To where, like, you can't even, it's like everything is now put under the microscope. So, like, Josh Donaldson is now automatically a racist when people don't know the backstory of the whole thing, and they just get Jackie. Oh, he's a racist. He's calling somebody, you know, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And it just gets all muddy for no reason.
Can I ask both of you one quick question?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've allowed someone to get away with saying something that really didn't rub you the right way? Y'all really didn't have a relationship, but you may have been a coworker or something, said something, but you let it slide.
Mm-hmm.
And then you let it slide again. And then it gets to the point where I'm not letting it slide no more. It wasn't right the first time. You just never said anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Big Reg, what you just described is disrespect. That's disrespect. To label the man as being a racist because he called you what you called yourself, then that doesn't fit. It just happened to Jackie Robinson in this case. If it was something like, yeah, professor, then it's a different tone. But now people want to take Jackie Robinson and then raise it to the level when I don't even think that's an apples to apples comparison.
But see, Professor, you just said something that's really key to this. That what immediately came to my mind when I first heard about this, and I didn't necessarily read into, you know, all the articles because that's, you know, at the end of the day, all these articles are just, you know, one man or one woman or a group's opinions of what they're going to actually print or report. But what came to my mind is, and you just hit on it really briefly, but it resonated with me. And I always said you can't have it both ways. And that's why I always have an issue with, you know, people within our community, you know, expressing or calling each other the N-word. And so yeah. Okay. And you alluded to, well, you know, and as you touched on it too, Big Reg, like, okay, well, you know, did someone say something to you, you know, at work, or if you're amongst your friends and you're going back and forth, but you can't have it both ways. So if you want to eradicate or eliminate this type of situation even coming up, then just leave it alone. Don't just leave it alone, because fortunately or unfortunately, you know, we do live in a time where, you know, you can't really be true. We don't really know, you know, when are people trying to be offensive or when they're trying to be, you know, friendly. So just eliminate it. And that way it won't necessarily come up. But I do believe we're living in a time that people are emboldened to just speak out, just to push the boundary, so to speak. And we saw a lot of that over the last, you know, few years under, you know, for whatever reason, you know, the environment was right for it. But at the end of the day, I don't think you can have it both ways. So eliminate it, avoid it. We won't have these type problems. Whether or not he should be suspended, I don't know. But I will say this, at the end of the day, truly, and I don't think anyone should be labeled anything unnecessarily, because at the end of the day, only one person knows whether or not if Josh Donaldson is racist or not, and that's him.
Good point. All right, let's move on. One last cap on that. The Major League Baseball said the suspension was more because he incited the brawl.
Oh, okay.
Not for what he said.
Okay.
Yeah,
and as we know, people can say things, and it's not always what they say, how they say it. Say something in a demeaning, derogatory way, and when you're using a revered person's name in that situation, but I'll leave it alone. All right, let's talk about some minutes.
Real quick, Big Question. That means that every time somebody says something, I don't care what it is, and it clears the benches and everything, if they're going to set this precedence, then they need to start suspending everybody for doing the exact same thing.
Like the NBA.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Let's hit this football news. Organized team activities, OTAs, kicked off in most NFL teams this week. And the two big headlines was, of course, your boy Aaron Rodgers, after signing a $50 million a year deal, doesn't show up. When he lost his number one receiver, lost his number two receiver, he doesn't feel like he needs to show up. Aaron's special, fellas. Aaron's special.
Yeah,
but they laid it. But
hey, he getting ready for the match. He ain't got time for them right now.
But at the end of the day, Green Bay created this environment because people only do what they can get away with.
True story.
They coddle them too much.
Yeah, so no matter how much money or what have you, or what kind of position that you have in any organization or what have you, you only do what you know you can get away with.
Yeah.
And and let's be honest, OTAs are volunteer. They're not mandatory.
They're not mandatory.
So, but as the leader of the franchise, as the face of the NFL,
that just got the biggest bag ever, and you don't have your top two receivers. Yeah, you should be there.
And we got to speak on the other problem. If you notice, the really good African American players don't stay there that long because I think he sucks the air out of the team. He would have more Super Bowls if it wasn't for his ego.
You're probably right on that.
He's a diva, like I said.
Now, the other big-time quarterback that also didn't show to this team's OTAs, I can understand somewhat. Kyler Murray didn't show up for Arizona. Now he's in contract dispute. He's like, I am not playing this year for $5 million. Not when I seen Kirk Cousins just make $40 million.
Man, Kirk is setting the bar, boy.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Lord.
I just saw Aaron get 50. Come on now. Y'all got to do better than this. So
now I don't know if Lamar showed up, but Lamar is currently, I think he's going to be playing on his fifth on the option year.
He's on his fifth year option, yeah.
And so I think I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that either. But
they say it's Lamar. From all the reporting, it's Lamar. Now, it's probably Lamar because maybe the Ravens haven't given them the number that he initially set. But they saying they can't even talk to him. Lamar won't even return their calls when they want to talk about the contract. Well, he said, I just want to play this year.
Well, the thing is, they disrespected him when they offered him 35. That's Kirk Cousins' money. Mm-hmm. They offered a man $35 million. Now, I know that sounds like a lot to, maybe, people that ain't not familiar with NFL quarterbacks, but I wouldn't take $35 million as a former MVP. I don't care what, what shortcomings I may have had in the playoffs. I'm not, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so I think that's just gonna play out until next year.
Yeah,
and they're gonna go from there.
Lamar needs an agent, though. That's the issue. Lamar needs a certified, legitimate agent, but
he's doing it his way. I hope it works out for him. Cleveland Browns re-signed defensive end Jadeveon Clowney to a 1-year contract. Clowney said he wanted the bag, but he didn't get no big bag. He got a little bag. We ain't get no big bag. 1 year, $11 million when the Bosa's are making 20-something million. So, but
yeah, and what part of that's guaranteed?
That kind of money. He stays hurt. He can't expect that kind of thing.
Yeah. Here locally.
Oh
boy.
The Washington Commanders have negotiated. Now, I did some reading today to make sure because it's been reported that they had purchased this land. The land has not been purchased. What they've negotiated is the rights to purchase this land. So they probably gave up a few million for the first rights to 200 acres of land in Prince William County, which they say is their preferred spot because they want to build their version of Jerry World, where they build a stadium, a brand new practice facility, team headquarters, shopping district.
Are they going to expand I-95?
I was about to say.
Are they going to watch
man? I-95 about to be looking like a parking lot.
It already is a parking lot between Richmond and DC.
Y'all got to see what he's doing, man. He's creating a bidding war, man, because he knows that DC, Maryland, and Northern Virginia wants the team. So this move right here is actually a stroke of genius. Now, I don't know how the investigation into him is going to turn out. But this right here, that key thing that Big Reg just said, negotiate the right to purchase, because now you're going to have 3 areas clamoring over who's going to give the most and the best deal.
So what's the latest from DC? Like, have they put a bid? I thought they were trying to like,
they at the bottom right now.
There's not enough room in DC to do what he wants to do.
Right.
He wants a whole new. He wants to build his Jerry World, where he watched the NFL when they kicked off and they had the drone flying through the Dallas practice facility out to that thing. And you know, Danny was like, I can't have this.
Right. Oh, and watching the Super Bowl, SoFi Stadium?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, Danny got to be like Mr. Me Too.
So that's the first site. They also got looking like they're working on rights to get like 70 acres over in Woodbridge, over near Dulles, closer to their current practice facility. So if they get that, it'll just most likely be a stadium a little bit. But if it works out that they go to Prince William County, they talking about a full-blown entertainment district, a 15,000 seat amphitheater, inside music thing. So we'll see. Last thing on pro football, and it's really not pro football, but the more news came out about Dwayne Haskins. Some of the information from his autopsy and toxicology was released yesterday, and I mean, he had between 2 to 3 times the legal limit alcohol, and he was driving. They said there were some other substances in the system in 2 different blood samples. So it's just, I know we were all hoping that it was just the man ran out of gas and was trying to get to a gas station in the middle of the night and just was an unfortunate accident. It sounds like maybe he wasn't all there when that happened as well. So sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's very sad. I had such high hopes for him that, you know, he's making a turnaround in his life, and, you know, gone too soon.
Now let's talk about the big news of the week that had the whole sports world on its ear for like 4 days. We talk about the good, we got to talk about the bad. Our man Nick Saban.
Roll Tide under the bus.
No, what he said was meant directly for Roll Tide fandom.
Yeah.
The problem was it got out to the public.
Yes.
Now, you can never do any kind of public talking and not think that someone's not recording you, because everybody has phones, so every phone.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, he threw some people under the bus like a gym.
Oh, yeah. So, here's how I read it. And I texted Ed Friday about that. Nick was speaking to the University of Alabama and their boosters. Look at here. I'm Nick Saban. If all things are fair and equal, I will have the top recruiting class most years. But now that Texas A&M has got this consortium doing NIL deals for players coming in, y'all got to do better. Because if you listen to what he said, we had the number 2 class this year, but we didn't buy. Now, the word buy was terrible, but he was using that for emphasis.
No, that was accurate.
Illegal about NIL.
That was accurate.
We didn't buy anybody, but they did. But we can't keep pace if we continue not to do that. So he was basically telling Alabama, y'all need to put together a consortium, do what you got to do. So when I go into these living rooms, I have all the tools like everybody else. If not, we're not going to be able to compete, and I'm not going to hang around here that much longer.
Yeah. So, look, did Nick Saban make a mistake as far as calling out specifically? Now, he didn't say Deion. He said Jackson State, but he knew. We know who he was talking about.
He is I am him.
And if he did, but now, as far as Texas A&M, he didn't say Jimbo. He just said the school. Did Nick Saban say anything that was untrue? I think we all can agree that no. What is unique about this situation is that a couple things is unique, but one of the things that's unique is that unlike professional football, where you have salary caps, and professional football B, which is college football, Power 5 football, is professional football. I'm glad finally the Band-Aid is and the exposure is finally being made that it was always professional football, and the only people benefiting from it was the administrators and the coaches. That's who was benefiting in the slave labor pool, the black college athletes majority. Those were the kids that weren't benefiting from it, and now they are. But again, getting back to the salary cap, all these coaches keep screaming, "There's no regulation. There's no regulation. Congress, please step in. This politician, please step in and try to figure out what's going on." Because if not, no matter what type of consortium or they're calling it collectives, no matter what, Texas A&M and Texas are the two richest public universities in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So to compete against that would probably be an uphill battle. So going back to what Nick was doing, he didn't care about Jimbo Fisher's feelings. He didn't care about Deion's feelings. He didn't care about the University of Miami's feelings, because all he cares about is the University of Alabama and winning. But to your point, Big Reg, he had to do it in a dramatic fashion, and he was speaking at some sort of business conference in Birmingham. So the people with the money were there or tuned in. So if it got out, he didn't care. He didn't care if it got out, because he wasn't talking to anybody but the people that pay attention and care about the University of Alabama football program. So was he wrong? I don't really think he was wrong.
He should have left the HBCU alone. There was no need to bring in, but that was because, depending on the ratings system used, the number 1 or number 2 player in the country decided to go to an HBCU. Yeah. And that ticked them off.
Mm-hmm. That ticked a whole bunch of people off.
Yeah.
Like, how did this happen? Yeah, right. How could this happen? Well, they gave him $1 million.
Because the playing field is now even with these NIL deals. Now everybody, got a chance, so to speak. Alabama's still going to be Alabama. Texas A&M's going to be Texas A&M. But with this move, of Travis Hunter to Jackson State, it made the playing field even. And, I'm all for it.
But I will say this: Jimbo Fisher, his little press conference and theatrics was completely out of control, and it was. But he was.
Well, we got to axe the ground against Nick anyway.
But he was actually speaking to his money people, appearing to be tough. Deion, on the other hand, Deion was like, "Look, I understand what's going on. I ain't mad with Coach Saban, because I know the game he's playing. He wasn't talking about me. He didn't mean to offend me. He was talking to the people that he had to talk to." Which you just alluded to, the money people. Yeah. So Deion understood what. Now Deion did say, "Hey man, don't put me.
I know where the dead bodies are, though.
keep me out of this." But Deion, why was Deion not all theatrical like Jimbo?
Because Deion got that bling from that Aflac commercial.
Exactly. he want to keep that brand going.
I just understand that. But Deion had to save face and at least say something to that situation. But here's what's going to come out of this. And I like it because it's good for college football as a whole. because now you have this nasty bona fide rivalry that's brewing now between Texas A&M and Alabama. And you know who wins in this situation? Every single player that they trying to recruit over the other one that's also going to get these NIL deals, and they're going to be able to put some money in their pockets before they turn pro. So I like all this drama that's being stirred up because it's actually now shining more of a light on the student athlete and which schools that they actually choose to go to and how they're going to be able to back up that Brinks truck before they potentially turn pro. So
that's true.
One other point I'll bring up, and it was brought up on a First Take the other day, how agents are playing a part in this now. How these they're trying to some
they're doing their job.
Yeah, but some coaches are calling it extortion now. Like, well, this team is offering this much. How much you trying to what you talking about?
They just jealous.
Mm-hmm. They mad because they used to only have to recruit you once.
Yep.
Then get you, and trust me when I tell you, they talk all these sweetness and goodies, and we're gonna do this for you and do that for you. And as soon as you step foot on the campus, you just wanted the numbers. All that's done. So now they got to be nice to the players that they think can perform to keep them around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, BJ, that's been part of the game for decades. That ain't just saving.
Not just Alabama.
That SEC money been doing that for decades.
Watch out for USC too now that Lincoln's at the helm.
Yeah.
Find the sunny California.
Yeah. And as soon as they try to regulate this stuff, I can see this going all the way to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
Because how you going to tell me you're going to cap how much I can make off of my own image?
No.
But you don't cap anybody else.
No,
so the violin player, the IT guy can make as much money as they want to, but you're going to cap me, and I'm actually performing on the field. Yeah, that ain't going to work.
I don't see it being a cap as far as the athlete is concerned. I think it being like a salary cap for like a team. There's no cap as far as the NFL, as far as they can pay Aaron Rodgers $50 million, but then you just got to, it's a trickle down effect. The quarterbacks are going to get the money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and so forth and so on. But I don't think they're trying to cap individual players per se. If you're a star, you're going to get paid. But I think they're just trying to just make sure all the teams are playing on an even field, which is kind of bogus if you look at it, because
it's never been an even field. It's never been an even field. University of Maryland don't play on the same kind of field that Michigan State or University of Michigan, much less Alabama.
Right.
They want parity. That's all. They want parity.
They crying. Stop it. All right, let's go ahead and move on to this NBA. I said last week, I couldn't call what was going to happen with this Eastern Conference Finals. There was nothing concrete about this finals to me, and it's kind of bared out. Celtics, Heat tied 2-2, and basically, whichever team has the big run in the game wins the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's how these 4 games have went. But do y'all realize the Miami Heat have only won 3 quarters out of the 16 quarters played?
Well, okay.
And one was given to them last night, the 4th quarter last night, which it was already a blowout and they was already losing.
Full disclosure, I'm just getting caught back up on sports. I'm full disclosure.
Rightfully so.
But I did three games in 5 hours.
Oh wow!
So the Miami. Let's talk about this series. To your point,
ready?
Big Reg. The question, no, I want you, Big Reg. Ask that question you just asked one more time, and I'm gonna go about the three quarters.
And the Miami Heat have only won 3 quarters out of the 16 played in the 4 game series.
I can tell you why. Kyle Lowry. He's 3 points, 0 points, 2 points. Bam, big Bam. Bam had 1 game. This is 3. Game 3. Then he reverted back to his 9 points. Jimmy Butler can't, and Victor Oladipo, he's a shell of his former self. I think he might still be on the road to recovery. But but to the point, if Butler has a bad game, which, I mean, if you rolling your entire team defense towards him and daring anybody else to try to score, it's just not going to happen. Now, okay, maybe Kyle Lowry is not 100% healthy.
I'm going to say what's Hero.
Hero, he didn't even play game 4. I think, he didn't even play game 4. So obviously he's dealing with some issues. And like I said, Victor, I don't think he's really healthy yet. But Jimmy Butler can't, if that's all they have to guard, and if that's all Boston has to worry about, then I'm surprised Miami is 2-2. I'm really shocked that it's even 2-2.
I always knew this was going to be kind of like a heavyweight bout. Like it was going to go back and forth. I kind of see like Boston taking this one though, because it seems like, you know, they are hungrier and they play better defense. And like you said, Big Red, it's like, you know, once you lock down Jimmy, who else is going to step up besides Bam? And if you lock down Bam, who else? Duncan Robinson? I mean, cool.
Why are we still talking about this, y'all? It's
over.
That the heavyweight fight was the Bucks and the Celtics. We already established that. Miami is just a runner-up. Boston was going to come in and do what they needed to do in order to get to the finals. We will see a Golden State Boston finals,
which is going to be boring.
I don't know. I think that's going to be a good. That could be a really interesting match.
He's going to run away with that, man.
If Smart gets healthy,
they ain't going to run away with it. That's going 7. Watch what I tell you. Going 7.
Boston is long, and they got athletes on the wings. And if Smart is at least 80% healthy and can play, that is going to muck up Golden State's offense a little bit. Now, y'all have to admit, though, Golden State is really – they're looking like the pre-KD Warriors where they were 12, 13 deep, and it didn't matter who came in. They just was –
it's looking like 14, 15 again. Like the dynasty returns.
Yeah. I mean –
so just like Draymond said, we ain't need you.
Yeah.
They didn't.
We ain't need you.
Yeah. I mean, it is ugly what they're doing in Dallas.
Well, again, to Dallas's defense, first of all, they shouldn't. To be here is an accomplishment. But
it sure is.
I mean, Dallas again, they're sorely needing a solid number 2, and that's no disrespect to Brunson. That's no disrespect to Dinwiddie. That's no disrespect. Who else they got?
That's disrespect.
Well, Hardaway being injured was
like I thought he should.
So who's that?
Dinwiddie. There's some disrespect there.
Dinwiddie, I don't think he's coming off the bench
number 2. Yeah, he was coming. Yeah, Hardaway kind of arguably was that number 2, Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, but he's not playing.
He's injured. Yeah,
he's been injured.
My point is they're missing him.
I hear you. But I think this is a growth series for Luka. Luka, first he had to figure out how to win in the playoffs. Now he's looking at, okay, we can win a series, maybe in 2, but to try to win championships, I got to change my game a little bit, and I got to do some really deep down soul searching to figure out how I can be better for the team, because not just me. Because if you look at what Luka did in game 2 and game 3, especially game 2, Luka dropped 40 points game 2, 42, had 5 rebounds, 8 assists. You had Brunson that had 31, and they still lost.
Yeah, but I think they need a legitimate Robin. He can be Batman, or but I just think that we see it. It's materializing. Golden State has way too many. I mean, they literally two or 3 deep down the roster, and they all play. So I just think that you're expecting a lot. I mean, sure. Luka is what, 20? What is Luka? 23? Is he 23? 24. So yeah, Luka could continue to grow. He's going to continue to grow, but until they make some roster moves, I think they capped out. They capped out at the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah,
they can't. There's no way they can beat Golden State.
Oh no, they're too overmatched. Like Golden State has too much for them. But I think Dallas now will become an attractive destination in free agency. I mean, because you already got the pieces. If you're like 1 or 2 pieces away, like some folks might want to go to Dallas.
The question is, what would fit? Because you can't. Luka's a ball dominant guard forward, so you'd have to get somebody that's not ball dominant to fit with him. That was the problem with him and Porzingis. Porzingis wanted to be the one dribbling the ball around and all that, and they was like, "Nah, this is the dude, not you." So they need to continue to get 3-and-D guys that can shoot off the catch, maybe one dribble or slash, and they can play defense. I think they need a legitimate big to help with the defense, since Luka is never going to be a great defensive player. He can get better, but he's never going to be great. So they need somebody to help with their paint, which is an issue. I heard Ayton to Dallas might work.
That might work because he ain't happy in Phoenix, and he's definitely going to be exploring free agency. I heard the Mavs was on also Zach LaVine's list, but to your point about ball dominance, that's not going.
Yeah, Zach likes to have the ball in his hands. Mm-hmm. Now, he did prove this year that he could share, but then it would just be Luka and Zach, and nobody else would get involved. And that's not going to win the championship.
Nah, plus Zach, is Zach considered a shooter?
Zach is a slasher more so. Yeah.
So,
but at this point, they just need talent. You can worry about the rest of the stuff later.
I wouldn't be so sure. You should remember the Lakers. We said, just fit them together.
We were trying to leave it alone.
I'm the one that made the point. I said, don't be so sure on saying, we'll just make it work later. We made
but you said
that dumb decision.
No, but my point was talent. I'm talking about young talent, not old talent.
Talent is talent, but yeah, touche. Darvin Ham, BJ. That's what I think.
So does Luka get one tonight and go out on the gentleman's sweep, or does Golden State put him out of his misery?
Is it Golden State or Dallas?
Sweet.
I was gonna say Warriors and 4.
I think the Warriors gonna give Luka one.
Nah.
How?
They want to end this one.
Nah.
I think
Luka been chirping and all
just
that.
They did it in the Memphis series. I think they're gonna show up tonight relaxed and not give it his all.
The Golden State ain't Memphis.
Yeah.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I see Steph want to put a nail in that coffin.
Yeah.
Give that look like, you know how you do when he be shooting them.
Yeah. Well, if they finish it tonight, the finals don't start till Thursday, June 2nd. Yeah. That means they would have 9 days off.
Good. Clay can use some rest.
Clay can use some rest for sure. Draymond.
Yeah, so
and
we will see.
Looney some rest too. That boy been balling.
Yeah, Looney been balling. Looney, an old-looking young dude. Y'all know, Looney, like 26, 27.
He's a true center. He is a true center. One of them dogs down low that can get you rebounds, putbacks, all that. Yeah, I like.
He reminds me a lot of vintage Roy Hibbert. He can play.
Okay.
Like
I hear you. He be running like his feet hurting. I'm like, how old is this dude? I looked at him, I was like, man, this dude's just a young dude. Looks like he ready to like he been playing
in the league for a minute. I was saying he been in the league for a minute though.
He does look 50 years old.
Oh man. All right, so it sounds like everybody's kind of on the page. It's gonna be Boston against a well-rested Golden State. whether it's Golden State tonight or Golden State Thursday.
I don't see anything. Yeah.
Boston is 6 or 7, Ed.
I'm gonna say 6.
6 or 7 cents.
I'm gonna say 7.
Yeah, Professor already said 7, so okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 7. It's gonna go 7 games.
That would be real interesting for them to have to go to Miami and take Miami out on their home floor. That would be a huge, huge leap. We'll talk about the matchup next Tuesday about who we think will win the finals. We'll leave that there. Anything else on y'all mind before we get out here with these final takes?
I don't really. I don't know if y'all touched on the whole Pat Bev media tour.
We want to give him no press.
Yeah, but I think that was real like clownish on his part.
Exactly, and we know that.
You know what Pat Bev was doing? Laying foundation for his next career.
Mm-hmm.
And what sells? Who are the three highest paid people in sports media today?
Probably
Stephen
Stephen A.
Skip Bayless,
and Jim Rome.
Barkley ain't up
and
there.
all they do is give hot takes.
That's
no
hot takes
with no substance,
controversy.
They piss people off.
They're making the most money.
Yeah,
there you go.
So, Pat Bev, smart dude.
He is.
He knows what he is. I mean, I respect Pat Bev because he knows he's not the best athlete. He knows he doesn't have the offensive game consistently, that he probably shouldn't be in the NBA, but he got such that dog in him, and he gets under people's skins and aggravates them so much that it's like he stuck around. He's made himself a decade career in the NBA where he probably should only been in the league 1 or 2 years.
If that. Yeah.
A la Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, he was called the Gooch. He's the Gooch.
But yeah, that's all I wanted. I didn't know if y'all touched on it, but I just wanted to get my 2 cents on that.
That's all good. That's all good. All right, fellas. So it's time for the final post of the evening. Professor, you in J3's normal spot, so why don't you kick us off?
All right, so I do want to end on a high note. I want to wish Empress Myers a welcome home. That's why I'm wearing the Imp Strong t-shirt tonight. She has gone through a battle for the past year, being in the hospital, going through rehab, having all types of monitors and tubes hooked up to her. Don't worry about what the issue was. I'm not going to put that out there like that. But the fact is that she's at home. We are supporting her. The community is supporting her, wearing this proudly. If you want to get this along with this paraphernalia we got, let me know. I'll get you hooked up. Thank you, Ed. Go ahead. But yes, you all be safe. And that's my final post for tonight.
Since you up.
Just want to give my thoughts and prayers out to the families and of the slain in Buffalo, as well as unfortunately Texas just recently. Something's got to give, y'all. We something has got to give. This cannot continue, and just prayers up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so wow, that's gotta pick myself up. So thanks again, guys, for really showing up for me. Please tell your loved ones who no one ever sees on here, but we know without them,
that's right.
I know. J Wills and J3, again, I wish you guys was here for me to say thank you to, but also our viewers. It's good to come back and be speaking in front of all of you out there. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
And I'm gonna try to pick up too. We get into the summer. I know a lot of people just say, well, the NBA get almost over. There's no NCAA football, no NCAA basketball. We get into the hottest time of the year for combat sports. So buckle up, get in. We got great fights coming. This Saturday, you've got a big fight with Gervonta Tank Davis in his last fight under Mayweather Promotions.
That's big news right there. I didn't even know that. What the last
It's fighting on Showtime pay-per-view against his potential replacement in Mayweather Promotions. Floyd got him fighting a Floyd fighter, an undefeated fighter, Ronaldo Romero, for Tank's WBA regular 135 light weight championship.
That ain't dirty by Floyd. That sounds like some Rocky type stuff. What's my man name? That professor who I forget his name. The one's like, get up and fight, you bum.
Yeah. His promoter,
it just said that sounded like some shrewd move by Floyd.
Yeah, so Floyd trying to set himself up. And the co-main event is Erislandy Lara for you boxing fans. He's been around forever, one former Cuban boxer who's been out in the game for over a decade. He has his WBA regular middleweight championship. So some good fights on. Next week, there's another blockbuster fight. Boxing, summer's hit, going to hit heavy. And then UFC's hitting heavy. They have their big events in July. So there's some stuff to keep you entertained till the NFL kicks off. And then we start talking about preseason and all that good stuff. So buckle up. We got plenty of stuff to talk about. We're going to have some special shows. I'm trying to put together this boxing special. I think we're also going to try to do a special about women's sports and what needs to be done to maybe bring some more shine to that so that we don't have to have our basketball players going all around the world trying to earn a living and end up locked up. But we'll leave that for there. So we're here for you. We're going to have a good time this summer, and we're going to keep doing what we do. As always, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in and listening. We appreciate the time and opportunity to share our position on sports with you. We're here each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. for our live show. Me and the fellas, we kick it in. You're going to have 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 of us, but we're going to get it in for you and let you know how we feel about the hottest topics in sports this week. If you want to reach out, check out our YouTube page, our Facebook page, Positions on Sports Talk Show. If you can't catch the live show, please podcast. Any podcast platform you're looking for, Google us, put us in there. We'll pop up. You got all our former shows. The professor who handles behind the scenes uploads the shows for us so you can catch us. And please let us know what you think about the show. Shoot us, hit us a message. You can hit us on Twitter at Positions on SPO1. Hit us up on our Facebook page, Positions on Sports Talk Show. We'd love to hear from you. Be safe. COVID's still out there. It's on the rise. We want y'all here next week to listen, so watch yourselves.
Amen.
Y'all be safe. Have a good evening. Peace.
Peace.